Hello, this is Marshall Zhukov, and here we are together again on YouTube. I've got 3 rifles and an old stock setup here today. And we're just going to look at the difference between the M91, an Dragoon rifle, and the regular 9130. And we'll also be able to tell the difference between a post-war stock and a wartime stock. So we'll get started here with the M91. This is my 1905 Tula M91, and we can see it's in its original configuration, original sight configuration, with the blade front sight and the Imperial rear sight that is graduated in Archons. And this rifle, when I bought it, actually came in this wood stock here, this Remington stock. And we can see by the sling escutcheons here that the escutcheons that are put in and screwed in place, that is how you tell a stock is pre-war. And this has the handguard on it that came with it. And it's old, you can tell it's been used quite a bit. It's got a early Ijevsk arsenal stamp on the front nose cap, so it's a really interesting stock. And it's got a little we can barely see what's there from the serial number. I'm not sure which way. I think it's supposed to be this way, like that. You can see the Tula hammer on there, just barely. But there's a small crack in it that runs right there. You can barely see it. So I don't care to shoot the M91 in this stock. I have a post-war laminated stock. And that's another way how you can tell a stock is post-war, is if it's laminated. All laminated stocks are post-war, and they have the pressed-in sling escutcheons, and we'll get a closer look at that later. But the difference between the M91 and the Dragoon rifle, an original Dragoon rifle would be outfitted with the original M91 sights. The only difference is length. We can see the length here, and these aren't exactly perfectly lined up, but the 9130 is about a ½ inch shorter than the Dragoon rifle, and the Dragoon rifle, I think it's 2 or 2.5 inches shorter than an M91. So originally outfitted, a Dragoon rifle would have the M91 sights, rear sights, and front blade. But this, and then that's why it's called an Dragoon rifle, because it's been updated to 9130 specs. And one way you can tell, most of the time by year, but you can, let's see if we can get some light in there. And we can see there's a small space where the sight is squared, where you can see black in there, and that's empty space is not being, where the sight's not touching the barrel. And on this rifle, we can see it doesn't have that space. The barrel is machined in such a way that it slides right on. Well, that's one way you can tell the difference, is by the sights right there. But most of the time the date is a good giveaway. And then of course we've got the 9130. This is a round receiver. This is a 1939 Tula 9130. So it's a pretty good shooter. It's not bad at all. It does quite well. I'm going to see if we can't get some look at the bores here. One little trick that I found works pretty well is if you take a piece of white paper, in this case a patch, and get a good light source from above and just set it in there. Get the light reflecting down the bore. See if we can't get a shot here. It's not too bad. The barrel's pretty long. I was pretty skeptical about the bore in this rifle when I first got it. It was really dirty and I didn't know how well it would clean up. It took a lot of cleaning. I cleaned it for hours and patches were still coming out dirty. And there were no obstructions in the bore, so I took it out and shot all the crap out of it, and it cleaned up pretty nice. It looks dark, but when you look at it with the bolt out, it's not bad at all. This one you can see a little bit better. It's a little bit shinier. The barrel's 2.5 inches shorter, but this is a nice shiny barrel, strong lands and grooves. And here's a counterboard, the counterboard 9130. Now we can see the rifling where it ends in there abruptly. That's how you know it's been counterboard. And that has good strong lands and grooves as well. And this is a really good shooter even though it's counterboard. So possible reasons for rifles being counterboard could be from improper cleaning from the muzzle with the steel cleaning rods that the troops were issued, whether or not they lost a muzzle protector or what have you. It's a possibility. Or they maybe just like to counterbore rifles at the arsenal when they refurb them. But that's just a quick little tutorial on the difference between the M91, the Dragoon or ex-Dragoon rifles, and the 9130. And we can see here with this stock that these sling escutcheons have been painted over with the coat that was put on them. And all of these rifles have the same type, pressed-in sling escutcheons and post-war stocks. I did, however, see when I was at Big 5 the other day an M38, no, it was an M44 they had on sale. The front sling slot escutcheon was pressed in, but the rear one was screwed in, so maybe they had a old one left over from a long time ago whenever it was done. But these are all post-war stocks because the sling escutcheons are pressed in. Pre-war stocks will have them screwed in, like on this original Remington M91 stock. So any questions, comments, requests, go ahead, post them on the page. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Got lots more videos, so check out the channel if this is your first view, and hope you like it. Marshall Zukov signing out.